Okay, it's our pleasure now to bring in the Royal Editor at the Daily Mail, Mr. Russell Myers. It's nice to talk to you in person rather than through a different link. But let's start off with Westminster Hall. That's where the Queen's coffin is at the moment. You've been lucky enough to be in there and see it firsthand. Just describe the atmosphere, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, an extraordinary privilege today, and one of only a handful of journalists to be there. Less than 300 people, sort of members of Parliament from the Lords as well, and an eerie silence, I think, is the best way to describe the start. And then the unmistakable sounds of Big Ben, the gunshots ringing out in the distance. And we obviously knew the timings, but as you get closer and closer to the procession getting to Westminster Hall from that final journey leaving Buckingham Palace, you could hear the cries of the King's artillery, and I just thought, you're witnessing history. I mean, it's the magnitude of the event, and just standing a few feet away from the royals themselves, who looked completely anguished, and of course, why wouldn't they be? I think the enormity of what happened yesterday here, of the Queen's coffin coming back to London, resting in Buckingham Palace for the final 24 hours, where the family essentially have said their last goodbyes. They've passed her over to the nation now to say goodbye, and that's particularly poignant.
That is what was symbolic about today, wasn't it? The handing over from the royal family essentially to the state. So the next 4 days is about everyone paying their respects. You were up close to the royal family today. You talk about the anguish on their faces, and it has been gruelling for King Charles. Very
much so. I mean, his first few days have been jam-packed. I mean, he's started this tour of the nations, and I don't think really many people had an appreciation for what he had on his schedule, because he not only has to go and accept the messages of condolence, but he's making speech after speech. So I think he's handled himself amazingly well.
We jumped to his defence last night, didn't we? When people were giving him a spray over the pen thing, and we thought, hang on.
Well, this is a man who just lost his mother a few days ago. He's taken on the enormity, even though he's been preparing for this role for many, many years, of course. You saw the raw emotion, and I was standing just maybe 10 feet away from him today, where he was leaving the hall, and we just had this incredible ceremony, and he gazed up to this magnificent roof of the Westminster Hall, which has been made since the 13th century. It's called the Roof of Angels, and you almost thought that he was not just the king, but a son in mourning for that moment. He just allowed himself that one moment of reflection, and then it's back to business for him.